Alright, hi there, Will and Carlos. I am Preston Hendrickson, and I'm going to get started on my CGT 141 practical for the final. So, for the purposes of shortening this video, I already went ahead and put in all of the tags here on the HTML and the CSS. So I'll just explain what each one does real quick before I get started. First, I got the doc type up here, the 1.0 strict for the HTML. I've already linked the CSS to the HTML, so I did the link href css / final.css, and I gave this document a title of final. So let me explain each of the tags here. Of course, we have the head tag, which I already explained has all the links in there. We have the body tag, which of course you need, and it ends right here. Then I went ahead and filled my body with different divs that correspond to the content of the web page I'm going to be recreating. First, I created a div called header, which includes the title div and a div called nav bar for the navigation bar. So I'm thinking of splitting it up so I have one div for the title, which I'll later I'm going to float it to the left, and the navigation bar div, which I will float to the right, and have it all in one header div. Next, I created a container1 div, in which I also have two child divs inside of that called form1 div and a video div. Again, I was thinking of creating a div for the form to float to the left and creating a div for the video, which I would then float to the right. Lastly, I have the container2 div, which has three child divs with column1 div, column2 div, and a column3 div. Again, the container2 div will be this orange box right here, and I'll have the column1 div, which will correspond to here, column2 div, which will be here, and the column3 div, which will be here. So let's go ahead and get started on creating the header. So first I'm going to put in the title, which I will do as a heading 1. So I'm going to do H1, and I'm going to name it CGT 141 as in the website. I'm going to go ahead, so that completes that div. And for the nav bar, it's going to be like I think it's unordered list, so I think that's U, L, then you create the list elements, so it'd be LI, then A, href equals, then you would link where you want each navigation button goes to. I think all of them link to the home page of the final, except for the last one that then goes to Google, it looks like. So I'll just put in index.html for each web address. Then you would type out what you want the button to be called. So I'm just going to go ahead and name this one Home. Then you end your link tag and your list tag. And for the purposes of keeping this quick, I'll copy and paste that. Would be 7 times, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 times. Then we'll go ahead and change the name of each one of these to correspond with the website. CGT 141 practical exam semester is over. Then again, for the last one, it linked to Google, so instead of having index.html, I'm going to put http://www.google.com. So then that will end my navigation bar. So let's go ahead and edit the CSS. Again, for the CSS, I went ahead and I already linked the background image. I went before I started this video, so all I did was right-click the background from the website, save it into my images folder, centered it, put it at no repeat, so it always be in the middle, and did the height and width to 100%. So, and I already took all my divs and put the tags in the CSS. So I got the header, the title, nav bar, all for my list div. So I already have the list, and I'm gonna be using later on we'll be using the a link, the a visited, and the a hover to change the different properties for the navigation bar. I already did the container 1, my form 1, container 2, my video, column 1, column 2, column 3, P2, and H1, so I'll probably be using those later on also. So first off, I'm going to give the header a height and a width. So I'm going to, since in the website the header goes all the way across the screen, I'm going to give it a width of 100%. And I don't know exactly how high it is, but I'm going to give it a height of, I don't know, like 50 pixels maybe. And so it'll always be centered. Give it a margin of 0 in auto. What else? I noticed that there are borders here on the top and on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and define the borders. I'm going to give it a border style top. It's going to be solid. And the border style bottom. Or I did that wrong. It's going to be border top style. It's going to be border top style solid and border bottom style. It's going to equal solid. And the color of that is going to be white, so I'm going to do border color white. and it's a little thick up here, so I'm going to change that to maybe 1 pixel. See what that looks like. So I'm going to do border width is going to equal 1 pixel. To make it a little wider, I don't think I'm going to do maybe padding. See what that does. Maybe 20 pixels. That looks good. Keep it at 20 for now. And I think that does it for the header div. So let's go to the title div. Hold on. But first let's save that and pull it up in the browser to see what it looks like. So here's what we have so far. I think that corresponds to what's in the website, kind of. So for the title, I'm just going to go ahead and give it a width so I'll be able to float it correctly. So, I don't know, maybe 150, 200 pixels. Let's try 200 pixels. We're going to give it a margin 0 in auto. We are also going to float it left. Let's see. What else can we do? Let's save that and see what it looks like. So it's all the way here on the right, so let's maybe give it a padding to the left to push it inwards. Maybe like padding left. Let's try like 25% maybe. Let's save. See, that's about where it needs to be. So let's keep it there, and let's maybe it's kind of low. Let's get it more centered towards like adjust the line height of it. So let's do line height. I don't know, 5px. There, that pushed up a little bit. So, save this. So that's what looks about center now. So let's go ahead and start working on the navigation bar. So again, we're going to do a margin 0 in auto. We're going to keep consistency and float this one right. And let's see what that looks like. So now it's all the way over here. So we're going to give this one some padding right. It should push it towards the middle. And let's do 25% again. Control S, save it, and so there we go. That pushed it a little towards the middle. So to get it from vertical to horizontal, we then go to the list tag. So you would change the display function, because right now it's in block by default, so you change that to inline to get it to horizontal. And as we see, it switched from vertical to horizontal, so that did what it was supposed to do. So now we want to also define a width in this one. Let's do what we do on the last one, 200. That works again. We can try 200. Width equals 200 px. To get the top border right here, we're going to have to define the border. So we're going to do border top style equals solid. And we're going to do border color equals white. And we want to keep the same thickness as this top one. So we'll also do that at border width is going to be 1 pixel, I think it was. Yeah, 1 pixel. So to get the border from the top of these links to the line up with the border from the header, we're going to give some padding top. So we're going to do padding top. Let's do 25 pixels. That's not quite there. 30 pixels. We're almost there now. 31 maybe. A little more. Let's try 33 pixels. Let's go ahead and save this. So it's almost there. Let's do a few more. Let's do 35. Let's see what that looks like. That's lined up now. So let's go ahead and change the border color. Well, we already did that, so oh, there we go. Border dash color should be white. Let's save that. So there we go. You can't see it, but when we change the next part, it should when you change the link visited to, or we're going to be doing here in a second, it'll change the color when it lights up. So these are kind of close together right now, so I think if we give it some padding to the left or to the right, it should space them out. So let's do padding left 10 px, and that spaced them out. Let's save that. So now we're going to change the A link to this is going to change the, or we're going to change the color to match the black right here, and we're also going to take the underlinings off, because right now they're underlined and they're like this purple bluish color, so we're going to take that off. So we're going to do, I think it's text declaration. going to do none and change the color to black instead of that blue. Give that a save. See what it looks like on here. So it's still blue, but that's because we haven't changed the visited yet, so we've already clicked on all these. So again, we're going to change color on the visited to black also. Save that. And there, now we have the color we want. So on the hover, we're going to also, it's going to be at an orange color, I think it was. Yeah, it's going to be this orangish color. So we're going to do color. We're going to do, let me find an orange color. Let's see what this looks like. Give that a save and load it up. So right now, it's changing the color of the words. So I actually should have done the border color. I actually have to define the borders first, so let me define the borders. I'm going to do border top style equals solid, and border width is going to equal 1 px, and we're going to do padding. We're going to do padding top at 35 px again to align the hovering border with the stationary border. We're going to do 21 px. And we're going to change this color. It's going to be border color instead. Save that. Let's see what it looks like. So now we have it when we hover over our navigation bar, it lights up to orange, like in the website. So I think that completes the navigation bar and the title. So let's move on to the middle portion, the form and the video. So I'm going to come in here to container 1, and I'm going to go to my form div. And for the form, you first are going to use the form tag. So it's going to be form, and you want to define what your form does right there. So it's where it's going to validate your information that you submitted. So you're going to put action equals. Then I suppose I could use the morbid link from project 2. Or actually, I just use this one right here. So I'll go ahead and copy that. And submit it in the action. So I got, this is where it will go to validate. So in the quotes, in that. So then from here, I'm going to give my form a title, so I'm going to use an H2 this time because I already used an H1, so I don't want it to be the same. So we're going to do H2, and it is called contact forms. So contact forms. Go ahead and H2. So then we're going to do 3 different boxes. We're going to have a name box, an email box, a message box, as well as a send button. So you're going to have name, then you're going to do input. Your input type is going to equal, so your input type is going to be, you're going to do text, because that's what you're going to be inputting in the box. You're going to do text, and the name of it is going to be, name will equal, this is where you're going to submit your first and last name. So you're going to put first name space last name. Go ahead and end that. Next you're going to have email. So we're going to call this one email. And again, you're going to use the input tag. And your type this time is going to be email instead of text, because this will validate, it will require the user to use an @ and a .com or a .net or something of that nature. And the name for this one is also going to be email. So we're going to end that. And your last one is going to be called message. And this time, since it's a bigger box, you're going to use, instead of input, I'm going to use a tag called text area. And I'm going to make it longer, I guess is what you'd say. You're going to define the rows. So I'm going to give it about, I don't know, 6 rows, 5 or 6. Oh, when I save it, I'll look at it. And you're also going to have to define the columns. So let's try, I don't know, 15 maybe. You're going to give it an ID. You're going to call it message. You go ahead and in that, and end your text area tag. Then for your submit button, we're going to do another input. We're going to do type equals submit, because that will put in the form of a submit button. Give it a value again, and you're going to call it, this is the words that are going to show up. So instead of having it say submit, it says send with an exclamation point. So that's what we're going to do. Send. Call it that. And we're going to close off our form. So let's save that and take a look at it. So this is what we have so far. So it's horizontal right now, and we're going to want it vertical. So let me insert some line breaks, and that will push the other text boxes down below each other. So if we put one between, so we're going to do a line break here, we'll do BR, do another one here, another one, another one, and let's see what that looks like now. So now we have them vertical, just need more spacing. So let's go ahead and insert 2 between each one. So we're going to do another break, break again, and one more break. So now we have them all horizontal. And also the name, the email, and the message, those are above each box. So let us insert a few more breaks, put them below each title. So we're going to put a break after name, a break after email, and a break after message. So there, we kind of have the style that we want now. So let's go into the CSS and get that taken care of. So for the container 1, container 1 will be this whole black box right here. Well, it's actually not black, it's kind of a grayish color. So let's go into container 1 and we're going to give it a width. Probably, I don't know, 900 pixels maybe. Let's try that. And we're going to give it a height. Let's try, do half of a night. We'll do 450. See what that looks like. 450 px. Then we're going to give it a background color. So background color is going to be this grayish color. Let's try, see what that gives us. And we're also going to want it to be centered, so we're going to give it a margin of 0 and auto. Let's go ahead and give that a save, take a look at it, the browser, and that is what we have for the container 1 and the content form. So I think that pretty much does it for the container. So let's start to edit the form. So we gave that the container, since there's going to be 2 columns within the container, we're going to give the form a width of 450 since I made it 900. And we're going to match the height of the container, so we're going to give it a height of about, what was it, 450? 450. We're going to go ahead, since there's going to be 2 of them, we're going to float it left. And we're going to keep the text line left, I think. Yeah, all the text is line left, so we're going to use the text align function. keep the text align. Should be text, or is it line text? Should be, no, it's text align. Should be left. Save that, give it a look. Let's go back to HTML and give that some space. Give it a couple of breaks. So BR, save that. So let's go ahead and also give this one some padding to the left, because I don't think it's right on the border edge. So padding left, I don't know, let's try 20 maybe, 20 pixels. And we're going to want the text color to be white. So let's change the color to white. So let's go ahead, save that, see what it looks like. So we can do a little bit more padding. Let's try 30 maybe. Save. That's why the color didn't change. Save this again. Refresh it. So that's kind of what we're looking. Let's also give it some padding top to bring that down. We'll do that at 30 also. So padding top is going to equal 30. Next, I guess we can go to the video now. So for the video, we are going to we're going to do a heading, then we're going to do a paragraph. So let's do that. So we're going to do an H2 to keep it consistent with that H2. So we'll do H2, and we're going to say, here is a video. Close that, and then we're going to do it. And that off. Then we're simply just going to get the embedding code from this video, copy the code, and embed it right into the HTML. So let's give that a save, see what it looks like right now. So we have our video down here, we have our text right here, so let's go ahead and go to CSS and get all that stuff changed up. So we're going to go to our video tag, and we are going to float this right. We are going to keep the padding consistent, so we're going to do a padding right and a padding top of 30 pixels. So padding right will be 30px, and the padding top will also be 30px. We also, I forgot, we have to give this a width and a height, just like the other one. So the width will be 450 again, because that's half 900. And we'll do the height also 450. Px. Let's give this a save. Look at the browser. So it's being pushed to the left, to the down, so let's give it a little smaller height. Let's do 300. Let's see if that did anything. No. Let's make the width a little smaller. That might be possible. Let's do 400. Let's also change this one to 400. Save it. So that put it where it's supposed to be. So we're going to change the color of the text string. Color equals white. Save that. And we're going to want to move this video over towards the left. So let's padding right. Let's increase the padding to 4. For some reason it is not moving. So let the padding that should be padding right. Let's I don't know why it's doing that. No. Maybe if I shrunk the video size to an HTML. So let's go back to HTML. There we go. Let's change the width to 400. See what that does. There, that looks better. So now we have our form and our video with both our headings. Let's see if this form works real quick. So let's put in, hit send. That's not correct. Let's change that. So it must be an error in HTML. Type input type equals submit. Spelled submit wrong. That's why. Submit. Let's resave that. There we go. So let's try this again. And that worked, I think. So let us go over to the last part, which is in second container. So with container 2, we're going to put the text in each of these columns. So we're going to have, in the first one, we're going to have 2 headings. So we're going to have an H1 and an H2, and then we're going to have a button. So we're going to do H1, we're going to do 3 columns, copy and paste that. We're going to have an H2, we're going to call it copy and paste, just like we cover in class. And then we are going to insert the button, so we're going to do another form element. So this time it's just going to be the form with no action, because I don't think it's going anywhere. So it's going to be form, so the input, we're going to do type equals, we'll do submit again, do another submit button, and this time the value is going to be find out more instead of send. We'll do find out more. In the quotes, in the tag, give this a save, see what that looks like. So there we have our content, and we have our button. I spelled submitted wrong again, so let's change that. Save that. So now let's go into CSS again. For container 2, this time it's going to be orange. So like we did for container 1, we're going to give it a width and a height. So I'm just going to do 900 and 450 again. And we're going to give it a background color. Let's do the same color we already used for the links. So we're going to RGB, just copy and paste that. Paste that there. Give it a save. There we go. We're also going to give it a margin, 0 and auto to keep the center. 0 and auto. Give it a save again. So let's do the column 1. So for column 1, we're going to give it a width and a height also. We're going to do, since 900, let's do 900 divided by 3 is going to be about 300. And we're going to need a little space for padding, so let's do like 280 maybe. So we'll do width, 280 pixels. Our height, CGT, I don't know, 300. We're going to want text to be white again, so going to do color equals white. And since this is on the very left, we're going to float it left. And let's see how that's looking. Let's save that. So we're not going to want this to be touching. So let's give that a couple of breaks in the HTML. So between container 2 and container 1, we're going to do BR, save that. And that's kind of more the look we're looking for. Let's go ahead and make this orange box a little smaller. So we'll go into CSS. We're going to give it a height of about 350 instead. Save that. And we don't want this right on the border again, so let's give it some padding left of about like 15 maybe. And let's see what that looks like. So we got a little space here. We have our button and our text. Let's go ahead, push that down a little bit. So we give it a padding top. Let's do 15 again. Give that a save. And let's also, that's good for now. So for column 2, again, we're going to do width 280, just like in column 1. Height of 300, like in column 1. We're going to want color to be white again. And we are also going to float this left, but it should sit just to the right of the other one because we already floated it left. So let's hope that works. So let's save that, give it a look. Again, for column 2, we're going to use an H1 and an H2 again. So an H1. P2 tag because earlier we gave this one a P1 and it's white. So we're going to give this one a P2 to keep it black. And we'll change that later. So we're going to give this one P2. And now we have the content for the third column. So let's go ahead and change that P2 color to black so we can get that look right. So we'll go ahead and change that to black. Save that. H1. We can add these borders as we see here. So let's go into the column 1 and column 2 CSS. So we're going to do column 1, we're going to do a border style. Border right style is going to equal solid to give it a border on the right. And we're going to, what color are we going to give this? It's going to be like a grayish color. So we're going to give it, we're going to do, it's also going real thin again, so we're going to do border width. It's going to be 1px. And border color will be, let's do gray. Let us save. Do the same thing for column 2. So we're going to do, let's just copy and paste that code. We'll do copy and paste it. Save it. So now we have a couple of borders. And they don't extend all the way to the bottom, so let's make them do that. So we made our container 350, so let's make all these 350. 350, 350, 350. And let's give it some padding to these inner columns. So let's do column 2. Should have padding. Padding left of, let's do 15 pixels. Yep. So let's do a padding right of 15 pixels. And let's do column 3, another padding right of 15 pixels. Give this a save. And that let's get these a little smaller width. So let's do 270 instead of 280. Save that. There we go. Now they all fit and they all have some space. So we have our header, where our borders, they light up when we hover them. We have our form, our video, our 3 columns at the bottom. And as far as I can tell, besides the text not being exactly the same font, it's pretty much lined up the same and has all the same properties of the test one. So I think that's it. So thank you very much and have a nice summer.